twisted trophy. Cops release shock photo of suspected victim of alleged serial killer Bruce McArthur. Toronto homicide detectives have released the macabre photo of a dead man they believe was a victim of accused serial killer Bruce McArthur. Police also confirmed on Monday that they have recovered the seventh set of remains from the Mallory Cress address where they've spent the last month. But law enforcement sources told the Toronto Sun that there is an eighth victim. Sources said detectives determined the grim result through McArthur's alleged treasure trove of victim trophy photos. "This is all very complicated," the source said. "Investigators are working backwards with these photos, missing persons reports, cold cases and anything else they can get their hands on." On Monday, Toronto police said they were reluctant to release the photo of a dark-skinned man in his early 40s but had run out of options in identifying him. "I do so as a last resort," lead investigator at SGD Hank Idicia told reporters. "I've never done this and I do it with great hesitation," Idicia added. "It's obviously a key piece of evidence that we have that we're releasing, but we do feel that by releasing it, hopefully, we can identify him and close off that area of investigation." McArthur, 66, has been charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of men who vanished from the city's gay village, the earliest of whom went missing in 2010. As the Toronto Sun first reported, McArthur allegedly had a penchant for keeping twisted trophies. When detectives burst into his Thorncliffe Park apartment, they quite possibly saved the young man's life. He was found secured to a bed in the apartment. And on the accused serial killer's computers, photos of his suspected victims were allegedly discovered on the hard drive. The photos have gone a long way to helping investigators identify some of the dead men, according to police. Idicia was tight-lipped on where or how investigators came into possession of the gruesome photo released Monday. He said the latest set of remains were found in planters at the same Leaside home where McArthur stored his landscaping equipment. The veteran detective told reporters that his people didn't initially realize they were in possession of 7 sets of remains. "I can't really get into specifics about why we didn't realize there were 7 remains there, but we had the planters several weeks ago," Idicia said. Since McArthur's arrest on January 18, he has been charged with the murders of Andrew Kinsman, Salim Yassin, Majid Kaitan, Soresh Mahmoudi, Dean Lasoak and Skandarat Natharatnam. So far, forensic teams have identified the remains of Kinsman, 49, Mahmoudi, 50, and Natharatnam, 40. The disappearances covered a period from 2010 to the summer of 2017. Both Kinsman and Natharatnam had been romantically involved with McArthur. Police have yet to release the cause of death on the victims. Idicia said cops have a fairly good idea how some of the men were murdered. "We still have 4 sets of unidentified remains," he said. "We've gone through fingerprints and dental records and we're now into the DNA process." He added that the profile of McArthur's alleged victims changed over recent years. Meanwhile, sources have told the Toronto Sun that the probe has expanded to include missing men, cold cases and unidentified bodies in other jurisdictions. Idicia said investigators have been in contact with international law enforcement agencies in an attempt to paint a more complete picture of McArthur's comings and goings and possible victims. McArthur's next court hearing is set for March 14. Forensic pathologist on unique massive McArthur probe. Ontario's chief forensic pathologist says his organization has never before been involved in an investigation like the one into accused serial killer Bruce McArthur. He attended a press conference at Toronto Police Headquarters Monday to give reporters some idea of the probe's massive scope. "This is a unique investigation in the history of our organization," Dr. Michael Paulanen said. "It is drawing on the talents and expertise of essentially everyone in the organization." The investigation has given Paulanen's team many unique challenges. Among them, the state of the dismembered remains found in planters at the Leaside home on Mallory Cress. "We have technical issues related to decomposition and the effects of post-mortem dismemberment," Paul Lannon said. "Those are the things we are working through scientifically. And while they're using science to advance the probe," the pathologist said his team isn't forgetting the very real heartache involved. "There is an overwhelming humanitarian objective to identify the people who in this case have gone missing and have been found dismembered and decomposed," Paul Lannon said. In addition, he said the team is seeking to create a reliable data set that can be used in the investigation. "First of all, decomposition can affect how accurately we can determine the cause of deaths," he told reporters. "With some of the slayings going back 8 years, the cause of death on some of the victims may be impossible. Some of the sets of remains are also incomplete. If you have an incomplete set of remains, it may be very difficult to ascertain the cause of death," he added. With files from San Pazzano,